Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Theo.
And it say,
So we got part 2 of Ari Shaffir's Juice Special. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. Let me hit this record button.
okay.
Try to do this as fast as possible. Let's get it.
And it lasted hella long. You are. What's the Jews' big miracle for the holidays? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we had this candle, and it lasted hella long. Yeah, our miracles are more like you had to be there miracles. Yeah. People came into the synagogue and 2 days later, it's like, is that fucking candle still going? One more day, that's a fucking miracle. I swear to God, that's a miracle. One more day. That's a one-day candle. Jesus just like, rise. And you're like, what the fuck? I believe if Jesus came back now, he would turn sand into Molly.
What?
And it would be the best Molly. You know, if somebody's like, hey, I have MDMA, like, well, you gotta test it, man. There's fentanyl going around. You can't just do whatever. Where'd you get this from? Like, from Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior.
I'm taking it too.
How good would communion be if you were hitting you with a fucking Molly tab? You'd be like, move.
I'm trying to see something.
By the end of the sermon, you'd be like, this guy cares about us. Yeah, Hanukkah's not our biggest holiday. And it's not Black Friday, I heard that too. Passover, it is a big holiday, but it's not our biggest one. Passover commemorates when the Jews left Egypt. We were slaves in Egypt. I don't know if you guys knew about that. We recovered. What a fun story that is. Here's the basis of the story. Some woman, you know, she was a slave, and she had a slave son named Moses, and she didn't want Moses to be raised like a slave. So she just took a fucking half-court shot.
What?
She was like, I don't know, I'm gonna think outside the box here. How about we just chuck it in a river?
Bruh. Nice.
We'll put it in a little basket. And we'll throw it into the crocodile-infested Nile River and hope for the best. And man, she swished it. Baby did not get eaten by crocodiles or tip over. It went right to the Pharaoh's daughter. The Pharaoh's daughter, the king's daughter, was like, oh, I love, you know how chicks are around babies. She's like, I love it. Oh, I want a baby. So she raised it like it was her own. She raised this Moses. I don't know how he knew his original name, but same name. Coincidence, lucky coincidence on that. Eventually, he was 19, 20 years old, went to his grandfather, the Pharaoh, the king, and he was like, hey, motherfucker, I got news for you. I want your grandson. And the Pharaoh was like, yeah, my daughter was never pregnant. We know.
Like,
She didn't ever do that. Plus, you're balding with glasses, so I think you came from Slave Island over there. That's my favorite part of the story. The Jews were slaves in Egypt. Egypt was a superpower, and their labor force, their manual labor force, was the weakest, most complaining people in the world. I mean, there's nobody softer than Jews. I think the pyramid's supposed to be houses, and the Jews are like, it's too hot, just pile it up. What a terrible, terrible choice for slave. And by the way, Egypt is in Africa. Like, there's better options out there. I'm just saying, who do you want picking up stones for you? Dikembe Mutombo or Gilbert Gottfried? You chose wrong, Egypt. That's why your country's falling apart right now. So let me tell you everything you need to know about Jews. I don't know where to start. I never know where to start. I'll tell you what, let's start with chicks. Let's start with women. Women in Orthodox Judaism are second-class citizens, for sure. Yeah, you're not a full part of the religion. But, by the way, I can feel you turning on me. I didn't make any of this up, okay? Don't blame me. I do agree with all of it, but I did not make any of this up. It's better than a lot of religions. Like, you can't beat your wife in Judaism, but if you do beat your wife, they'll be like, don't do that. You're just not really a full
I'm
part of the
sorry.
religion. Like if this is a synagogue, it'd be all the men down here, and the women would be up there behind a fence, like in the balcony, looking at us participating. Like, what are you guys doing back there? We're like, shut up. We'll talk to you later. So there's all these laws associated with being a woman, especially a married woman. If you're a married woman in Judaism and you're on your period, you are considered unclean.
Dang.
Yeah, which that's actually.
You're dead and good.
Yeah, I mean, I have a problem with that spiritually, but physically, that's actually a very nice way of describing what's actually happening. Unclean is fine. I mean, like, legitimately, if I put 2 giant buckets on the stage, and one giant bucket said, clean vaginas, and the other giant bucket said, unclean vaginas, and then I handed each of you a bleeding vagina, and I said, put that anywhere. Which bucket do we all know would be overflowing with vaginas? So you're unclean until you stop having your period, then you have to have 7 days of no blood, and then you gotta go to a ritual bath called a mikvah, and then you're considered clean again. And it's 7 days of no blood in a row. That means if you get spotting 2 days out, fucking
Oh.
clock starts over, bitches. Yeah, it's like microwave popcorn. It's gotta be the full 3 seconds, or it does not count. You know, it's like pop 1, 2, pop 1, pop 1, pop 1, pop 1, pop 1, 2, pop 1, pop 1, pop 1, pop 1, pop 1, 2, pop 1, 2, 3. Yes. All burned.
Finally.
That's your vaginas in Judaism, just so you know. It's the microwave popcorn of body parts. And while you're unclean, you can't touch your husband. And your husband can't touch you. Oh, yeah. You can't even sleep next to each other.
Oh.
You have to sleep in the corner, like the bleeding
Wait,
whore that you are. It's every month with you.
Get your ass in the corner.
So this law, it's called Nida. This is the reason. Sociologically, this is the reason that Orthodox Jews have large families. It's not only so you can fill up our minivans. There's another reason for it. It boils down to this. How long do periods last? What do periods go for these days?
About 9
5
days.
days. Okay.
Holy shit.
She's heavily disagreeing with you in the back. So what do you think it is? 7, said the mansplainer? All right, let's split the difference. 5 to 7. That's I thought that was gonna be a woman saying the answer to that, but 7, I know.
I knew you had a vagina. And I was like,
5 to 7 days, I believe she said. Plus 7 days of no blood. That's 12 to 14 days. Okay. Plus another day or 2 to go to the ritual bath, to go to the mikveh. They're not like 24-hour fitness. You know, they're only in certain spots. So now we're talking about right around 13 to 15 days after you start your period is the first time you're allowed to touch your husband. It's also when you are the most fertile in your cycle.
wow.
Your ovaries are right at the bottom of your pussy. And you haven't touched your husband in 2 weeks, and he hasn't touched you. You're both super horny, and right then, God's like, go. I mean, there's no chance, dude. There's no chance. Imagine the husband's home washing dishes, cum's coming out of his ears. Fucking hate this religion so much. Should've been a Buddhist. Buddhists fuck all the time. All the kids like, Daddy, you need to shut the fuck up. Daddy, God, I fucking hate this shit. You can't beat your kids in Judaism, just so you know. That is allowed. You can't beat your wife, but you can beat your children. And right then, the woman walks through the door, you know, the guy's all cranky, just fucking pent up. He's just like, where have you been? She's like, ritual bath. And he's like, oh, yeah? Why don't you go get that sheet with the hole in it?
Say what? Oh, wait. No, I'm good.
There's a rumor, just so you know, there's a rumor that Jews have sex through a hole in a sheet.
What?
And it's not true. But it's not true. So it comes from some racists made it up a long time ago. I'll tell you where it comes from. Jews have this like sort of prayer poncho thing called tzitzit. It goes under, it's like a t-shirt, but it's like made like a poncho. It's like got no sides, and it's got these white tassels. Sometimes you'll see that white tassels coming out of it at the bottom. They're called tzitzit. And the white tassels are for like, in times of trouble, we would tie razors to the end of that. No. straight up fucking bubble of safety.
You know, cutting yourself.
But anyway, I guess some lady was like washing the family's seat and she was hanging them up to dry, and some racists walked by. And dude, say what you want about racists. They're not the best people in the world, but they are very creative. Some of them walked by and they saw one hanging up and they were like, I bet they fucked through that. And it just wasn't even a bad thing. The hole was like that big. So I'm like, yeah, spread that. But then it changed, it morphed. The rumor morphed into like a regular bedspread with a little hole cut in the middle of it.
Wait, what?
And here's how strong the rumor was. I thought it was true. Up until legitimately 2 years ago. I guess they thought like a woman supposed to lie down naked and you cover her up with a sheet like she's dead. You know, and you line the hole up like right over her vagina. And then you gotta get in there, you know, and like through the hole. You guys remember the game Operation? Yeah, it's just like that. But instead of using tweezers, use that sweet D. And you just fucking... Yeah, I think actually, I don't know. It might be that way. It might be another way. It might be that the guy holds a sheet like over him. You know, just puts it over and just has his dick out of the hole. Like a walking glory hole. Just the dick. I'm like, ghost dick, booner. I don't know. I'm trying to be a performer, but it might be the latter. Yeah. Oh, sorry for the non-Jews, for the goys. Former and latter means first and second. The reason for the sheet that I always thought was twofold. I thought it was just because these are like super religious people, super pious people, and they're studying the Torah and the Talmud, which is like the Gemara, all day, and they don't want to be distracted, you know? Anybody with a wife or a girlfriend, you know, you think about her naked sometimes. So they're like, to combat that, they're just like, cover her up with sheets. You don't have to fucking look at her, just don't be thinking about her. Don't be distracted. And then the other reason is, there's a commandment to be fruitful and multiply. In order to do that, you have to have an erection. And Jewish women... It's the best way to say this. It's not ugly. It's not ugly. That's not the word. That's not the word. It's not ugly. Here's the word I'm going to use. Inbred.
Wait, what? I'm about to look that up on the hub and see.
Yeah, we're an inbred race, everybody.
What?
The boys and the girls.
The Targaryens.
We've only been fucking ourselves for like 5,000 years. So if you don't get outside genetics, shit starts to get weird. As people ask me, is Judaism a race or religion? And I'm like, it's both. They're like, well, how can it be a race? I'm like, because you can pick a Jew out of a lineup.
Bruh.
You know, if you have 8 men, you're like the Woody Allen one, obviously, you. Come on, let's go. You know, it doesn't work with other religions. You can't pick a Catholic out of a lineup. Unless you're in like the middle of raping a child. I mean, you would have to get so lucky with the timing. Yeah, or no, I guess what you could do, you could have a lineup and then release a child into the room and then lock the door. And then you just gotta play the waiting game. You gotta wait for the one to start shaking and sweating and like talking to him. Keep it together, Jeremiah. You guys raping that? I'm not. I just want to know if you guys are gonna rape that. I'm not gonna rape it. I'm not even thinking about raping it. I just want to know if you guys are gonna rape it. Hey, can I smell his butt? Is that allowed? Dude, I've been making fun of that Catholic priest sex scandal for like 20 straight years. I can't stop making fun of it. I have Catholic friends. They get mad at me about it, but fuck off. My buddy Steve, he's Catholic. He's a comic, and I made a Catholic joke once, and I got off stage, and he had enough of it, you know. So I got off stage, and he was like, "Ari, what do we have to do to make you stop making fun of Catholics?" And I was like, "One thing."
That's easy.
It's just that one thing.
It's easy.
Are you guys not getting the message? Just stop raping children.
Hey, for real.
Do you have a game plan in place to improve? Can I spitball with you a little? Can I suggest, I don't know, right or wrong, but start raping adults for a while.
Bruh.
See how that works out. 50, 60 years, something like that. And then eventually, maybe no rapes at all. But I think we can all agree, you know you're fucking up as a group when raping adults is a step in the right direction. Yeah, the only problem is, now every time a Jew fucks up sexually, all my friends are like, well. Guess you guys aren't perfect either. Yeah, like fucking, what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein? That was a bad. Epstein is a Jewish name, if you don't know. If you didn't know before, now you know. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, he ran an underage sex trafficking ring.
That
Had his own
still
private
got it.
island. He did it. Bill Clinton went there, but just to play golf, I think he said. There's no golf where Bill Clinton lives, so he went to fuck Child Island and get a sweet 9 holes in.
Oh, sweet Bill.
So, anyway, they're like, what about Jeffrey Epstein, Ari? He's a Jew. And I'm like, that's fair. That is fair. And I'll answer that from a Jewish perspective. Here's what Jeffrey Epstein goes to show you. It's that no matter what industry Jews choose to go into, we will rise to the top of that industry. He's the #1 name in underage sex trafficking. Anyway, the point is, Jews have a look. That's my point. Everybody's got a look, you know? Even, continent to continent, people look way different in South America than they do in Africa, you know, Canada, they look it's like, whatever. Even country to country, people look different. Like, I've been on tour all over, like, Europe. People looked at, I was in Berlin, 4 days in Berlin. Hottest women in the world. I've been to Sweden and Brazil. I thought they used to be the hottest. It's German girls. They're fucking 10s, dude, every one of them. And the dudes too. Every dude there was like 6'5" and chiseled. I was just walking around Berlin for 4 days, staring at these same beautiful men and women. And for the first time in my life, I was like, yeah, I get it now. I guess I never looked at it from their point of view. Germans are perfect. And Jews all look like we're dying. We are. We're falling apart, man.
That's funny.
You need outside genetics. The shit starts to get weird. Same as look at the royal family in England. They're all like, love your leader.
Oh, goodness.
You know? They're all half-tards eating their own shit in the corner.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Same
boy.
as Jews. We're falling apart. Every Jew has the same fucking Jew pattern baldness. You know? That's why God's like, try to get laid. Do something. Cover it up if you have to. I don't know.
And they just put a little hat on top.
We're falling apart. Nearsightedness. I had LASIK eye surgery. I still have glasses.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Dr. Weinberg did a great job.
Bruh.
We're all neurotic. We're all like, Tay-Sachs disease. Falling apart. Feed a glass of whole milk to a Jew. Watch him rain diarrhea for 40 days and 40 nights. Absolutely falling apart. Because we're inbred. It's kind of like, do you guys know what pugs are? The dog breed pug, the most inbred of all dog breeds. Have you ever seen a pug get excited and then struggle to breathe? Throw a ball to a pug 4 times in a row. Listen to the sound of him just going. Yeah, that's what Jews are. We're the pugs of the human world. Anyway, the point is, we have a look. So every Jewish woman I've ever had sex with, there's been like 10, 12 in my life, and every one of them, for a moment or the whole time I'm looking at her, but at least for one moment, I'll look at her, and she'll look exactly like my Aunt Ruth. And my boner's like, no fucking way. So to combat that, I always thought they just was like, well, why don't you just take a sheet, cover her up. Yeah, then you just fuck a multiverse of holes and you're fucking there. By the way, here's what I should tell you. There's 2 types of Jews. I'm only talking about one type. There's Ashkenazi and Sephardi. So when the Greeks drove us out, or the Romans, or one of the fucking 1,000 times we got driven out, we got pushed in different directions. And some of us went north to like Poland and Romania and Hungary and places like that. And some of us went east to like Syria and Iran, Iraq, places like that. Those are called Sephardic Jews, or as my grandmother called them, Animals.
She beefing.
She's like, they don't cut their challah, they tear it. Don't have them in our house. And those people are tougher. They're tougher Jews because they got some Arab in them and they're just like tougher. They never had the Holocaust too, so there's no victim mentality there. The Holocaust never got to Syria, so they're all like, what? Why are you a victim? Just fight back. And we're like, you just wouldn't understand. But I'm talking about Ashkenazi Jews, Woody Allen Jews. That's the type I'm talking about. So let me tell you what we did in seminary, in yeshiva in Jerusalem. All we did was study the Torah and mostly the Talmud, the Gemara. I'll use those words interchangeably. It means the same thing.
Wait, let me have a little bit,
And we
please.
pray 3 times a day. We pray.
Can I have some?
It's a lot. Muslims go 5 times a day.
Come on, man. I just need to pour something in here. Oh, shucks. It's time to. Damn! Hey, y'all, we about to get into the next one. Y'all, come on, let me get some soda.
No.
That's ghetto ass soda anyway.
That's the reason
God
why.
damn, you don't want a damn pig's feet and a pickled egg with it? I'll see you guys later. Stop saying shit. I ain't cut my hair. Peace.